Hoffing everybody, welcome to Chopping It Up, episode 4, Quattro, 444. We out here. Anyways, this is...
Do you really have to, like, say the episode
yes,
number every
I
single
do,
time?
man. I'm keeping track for our listeners,
what are we,
dude.
Sesame Street?
Yes, we are Sesame Street.
Count?
Yes, the count. Welcome to Chopping It Up.
Well, anyways,
I'm
NDR.
And I'm Jed. Welcome to
Chopping It Up.
We're welcome to whatever. Anyways,
Okay.
so, yeah, how's your day going, man? I don't even know how to open this. I mean, we're 4 episodes in.
I don't know how to open this either.
I mean, we got High School Musical playing in the background. It's pretty dope.
We're soaring.
What are you doing?
Flying.
What?
There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach.
If we're trying,
So we're breaking free.
Can you feel
No, we're done. We're done.
Oh, man.
Play the intro.
Chopping it up, chopping it up. It's Niel and Jed, and we're chopping it up.
Oh, yeah.
Chopping it up.
Wow, that was a beautiful intro. My heart is still going. Why'd you have to cut me off, dude? That's f***ed up.
Bro, we were done.
Dude, I was in the zone, dude. You got me so invested. I was just watching
done.
the freaking High School Musical on the screen. Anyways, there's
You know what? Let's just watch for the entire podcast.
For the entire podcast, we'll
let's
be
just
like,
watch High School Musical
oh
together.
my God, is that Ted Bundy?
Oh my God.
Is that
Zac
Efron? Honestly, he was like
Cody.
He was like everyone's crush in like middle school for some reason. They would get like that. What is it? The Tiger magazine, and then girls would just post him up on the
Oh,
walls. and shit.
I thought when you meant everyone.
Yeah.
You were talking about you included.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, you know, Zac Efron, he's so
Bro,
dreamy.
he's a good-looking guy.
He's a good-looking guy, bro, but he's pretty short. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's all good. You know, Hollywood don't need to glorify that. But, you know, people on Twitter do. You know, like, oh, he's 5'7", la, la, la. Hey, buddy.
Is he really 5'7"?
Yeah, he's 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cute.
That's pretty...
That's a cute size.
That's pretty short.
That's a short size.
Yeah, it's pretty short size.
For a man. But anyways, I mean,
You know...
in terms of Hollywood
In
standards.
terms of Hollywood...
Yeah, that's fairly short.
it's fine, I guess, because he's white.
And he's buff.
Now he's buff.
Oh, yeah,
Before he was
before.
he was a scrawny kid back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I think there's a lot of like short people that think, oh, I want to be an actor and do this, and which is fine. Mm-hmm. But I think, especially with the landscape of Hollywood now, you know, we're starting to see more films with representation of different color.
Yeah.
And that's great. But you know, during this time, if you were 5'7" and you were a minority, you're really not gonna get the role.
Yeah, you're really not going to get anywhere. But
in terms of like, if you're 5'7" and you're white,
yeah.
the possibilities.
The
there.
possibilities are endless. Yeah, there's sort of this little bias, this unspoken bias that goes on in Hollywood.
Hey, so like, which of the three is your favorite High School Musical?
Man, I still have attachment to the first one.
You like the first one?
I love the first one, man. It's a lot of... I remember being in elementary, and I was in Gate, and I'd be around... Like, people in Gate were, like, mostly girls and stuff, and I was probably, like, one of the 2 boys that was in it, or that were in it, and... all the girls love High School Musical, and that's all they would do. So, I mean, like, being around all of that, it was like, okay, I actually love this. And then I lost track after High School Musical 2. It's actually my first time watching High School Musical
the third one?
Yeah, like, really just looking at it for what it is. I mean, I come across it on Disney Channel, like, Disney Channel original movie, and then the guy does a split.
Hands down, my favorite is the second one.
Yeah, I mean, I love the soundtracks in the second and first
Yeah.
ones. But if I were to rank it in terms of familiarity, I would know... the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's the second one. The second one's my favorite.
I mean, okay, what's your favorite song out of the entire...
That's hard.
No, you gotta know.
Okay.
Like something that was like, yes,
The one that
jam.
the one that I sing out of nowhere all the time is Every Day.
That's my girl's favorite song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. Sorry.
Anyway.
You know, this guy, honestly, every time he goes, oh, I need to call my girl.
And it's
Sometimes
like, right here, bro.
He'll start like dialing in his phone, and then all of a sudden my phone starts ringing, and I'm like,
No, because, okay, in terms of the people I contact the most in general, it's my girl and this fool over here.
Yeah.
So it's like, whether it be about the podcast, Project Inspire, or just like life in general, I'd call this guy.
yeah.
And then it'd be my girl, you know, and my mom too, but I talk to my girl and this guy the most for some odd reason.
So sometimes, like, I'll be getting a phone call, he's like, baby. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah?
I'm like, girl.
He's like, oh, shit.
initially, I wouldn't even look at the contact. I'll just look at the person that I called recently. Oh, I called my girl recently, whatever.
Okay.
And then I call, and then you'll be like, hello? Oh, shit. I was supposed to call Marissa. And you just start to fucking laugh, like, hey, baby, what's good?
Hey,
I'm just
what's
like,
up, girl?
I'll call you back. Then I call my girl, and honestly, yeah.
Sorry to go back to High School Musical, but like...
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize for High School Musical.
This whole
Neil.
entire podcast, we weren't joking. We were going to talk about High School Musical.
High school, because we peaked in high school.
I want to bring this up because I don't think a lot of people realize this, but do you know who's probably the best character in High School Musical?
Bro, I don't know who's
let me ask you real quick. Who's the best character in High School Musical?
The best character?
Yeah, in terms of like a well-written character.
I like Sharpay.
Okay.
I don't specifically know why, because she is mad talented. She could f***ing sing. She could hold it down. I feel like she's just misunderstood in the entire series. Yeah, no, really, because she's like
okay, like if you like look at her character, right, and that's actually my answer too.
Yeah,
is Sharpay, because if you look at her character in terms of like being a well-written character in film, especially in America, like a lot of people like redemption stories. Mm-hmm. Like, if you look at it, really, she's the only one that has really any character development.
Yeah, no, really. Everyone is like...
Everyone else is kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, like, bro, she fucking gave Zac Efron a freaking job in the summer, and here she is, another girl. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, that's mean.
Like,
you know what? You're just being nice to the guy you like.
She comes off as like really like bitchy and like a lot of attitude, but at the end of every movie, she always makes up for it. Yeah, and she's the only one who learns from her actual lessons, dude.
And it's like,
Zac Efron don't learn nothing.
He learned how to be handsome.
Troy's super selfish.
I know. That's true. He just. Basically, it's a movie surrounding them, but really the real character development is in, like, Sharpay. Yeah. And I mean, I love characters like that, whether it be Dragon Ball Z. My favorite Dragon Ball Z character is Vegeta, just based on his character development. I love how that we're
comparing Sharpay and Vegeta
together. No, because it's like they're dicks, but, like, it's like, even recently in Dragon Ball Super, like, Vegeta ends up being the more father-like figure to his freaking children, So it's like...
I can see it now. Sharpay getting pissed off at Goku.
Yeah, basically, Gabrielle or Vanessa Hudgens is Goku, and Sharpay is like Vegeta in the realm.
I can see that
in this universe.
But yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up, just because I was like, you know what? I don't think a lot of people talk about how underrated Sharpay is,
and she's good. She's a great singer, bro.
She's fabulous.
That's her life. Like,
get her fabulous. Please.
Like, bro, like in terms of the entire process, right? Or the what was it? The freaking production. Mm-hmm. Like, she was the one that was really about it, bro. Like, she was grinding for it, and then
she really cared.
Then you had someone like Gabrielle, just a pretty girl, pop out of nowhere. It's like, I don't know if I want to do chemistry or this, but I'm gonna do this because it's my movie. It's like, dude. Yeah, Sharpay invested her time and effort into just the entire production.
At Ashley Tisdale
Ashley Tisdale.
Let her know that we care about her and her character development.
I love her, Zach and Cody, though. Yeah. But anyways, back to... I mean, we've been talking for High School Musical for like the past 9 minutes. Is the title going to be like High School Musical? Why Sharpay is freaking...
Why Sharpay is underrated?
Film theory. But anyways, so yeah, like let's sort of switch on the topics a little bit. I mean, I don't know, what are we talking about? I mean, we're drinking coffee today, as always. I don't know if you noticed, but that's our thing. We just like to drink coffee. I think everyone in this company is like, they're not a big fan of coffee. I know Randy loves coffee. JD loves coffee. Yeah. But in terms of like Duck and Asian,
you didn't like coffee in the beginning.
Yeah, and it just became
you just hung around me a lot.
Yeah, this fool's always drinking coffee. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but in terms of productivity...
when I was a kid, that's why my grandma would actually give me coffee as early as even 5 years old.
Holy cow.
And they say there's that myth they say about like...
Yeah.
Like, I'm 6... We're both like about 6 feet.
Yeah, so it's like...
And so there's that myth of like, oh, if you drink coffee, you're not going to grow tall. And it's funny, when people tell me that, and I think about how tall I am now, I'm like, oh my God, you mean I could have been taller?
Dude, okay, my growth spurt didn't happen till like Halfway, my growth spurt, because I was pretty short.
So that happened, what, like last year?
No, yeah, last year actually.
Yeah, that's when your puberty kicked in?
Yeah, that's when my puberty kicked in.
Yeah, okay.
But anyways, back to the real thing. Like, and I didn't hit my growth spurt until like midway through my freshman year. Okay. So like going into my freshman year, all the girls were still taller than me. You know, I had a homegirl.
Wait, like how short were you?
I was like 5'8", 5'9".
Okay.
And then I eventually grew.
Oh, you were Zac Efron.
Yeah, I was basically Zac Efron.
You were Zac Efron.
And then I just hit a growth spurt like over the summer and over the break, and then I mean, like, see, coffee, bro, coffee is just a myth, right? Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, the only time I would drink coffee is when my Filipino grandpa, you know, I'm Filipino. Yeah. They get the pandesal and they're like, oh, dip it in
you said that really white.
Dip it in the coffee and then you eat it. It tastes very good. And dude, it was fucking good.
That's why my grandma gave me coffee to the pandesal. So she would I guess she would rationalize it by putting milk inside, and she's like, no, there's milk in here, it's okay.
The milk offsets the non-growth hormone in coffee. But yeah, you know, like I think height's just genetics. Height is like
I think a lot of it's genetics.
Unless you're Yao Ming and then you go through a machine. Have you ever heard of that conspiracy? Like Yao Ming was stretched. There's a machine that made him freaking 7'6", because he was 7'6", and when he was in the NBA. But there's like this conspiracy theory. Here we are talking about conspiracy theories, right? That a machine or like doctors made him taller by like stretching him. I'm just like,
what is this, Captain America? But
in China, like, we're going to make the best basketball player ever.
Captain China.
Captain China.
He doesn't have super strength, but he is really freaking tall.
He's freakishly tall and can dunk. No Chinese have ever dunked before. We will make it happen.
But
and then they end up making Apple products.
Okay, I don't know about that being real, but did you know that there is a procedure that can in China?
Whoa,
that'll make you taller.
Why are you acting like you didn't know about it? Isn't that what we did?
It's common knowledge.
Yeah, it's common knowledge.
We did that. We went through that when we were like 4 years old.
Yeah, we're talking about how coffee like stunts our growth, but you know that's exactly why we're tall, because we went through that, right?
No, so what happens is in China, you can go through a surgery, because I think a lot of it deals with their economy. Yeah. So like the way they perceive you, you'll get better jobs. Yeah. And so if you're short, you won't do well in the job market. You won't do well in relationships. You won't, like, they just perceive you in that way.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
So I know there's a lot of things about China that like it just amazes me, because it's like such a huge country and they have such a different way of viewing things. Yeah, but there is a procedure. It's a very dangerous procedure.
I mean, anything that includes like freaking making you taller or like is freaking dangerous.
Yeah. So basically, what they do is they take your legs, right?
My leg.
No, I'm not even joking. Yeah, your leg. Like they'll take your leg, and right where the your knee is. Yeah. They'll hammer away at it, and they'll separate the bone just by maybe like a few inches. Yeah. And they leave it like that. And then over time, what's going to happen is your body's going to start repairing itself and kind of fill in the gap. Whoa. And so it takes maybe about like a couple of years, maybe a year or two to go through the entire process. Bro. But I'm sure it's a painful process.
I mean, anything where it comes to chopping your legs off or chopping any form.
Would you if you weren't tall, would you go through that process?
No. Like, I mean, like, I ain't going to go through that.
Let's say you lived in China, right? Like, let's say
okay, this is
it depended on it depended on your job and depended on your love life. Yeah. Like, no matter what, like, you could be amazing, you could be talented, you could be skillful, but because you weren't tall, you couldn't like succeed. Would you do it?
Wow, that's honestly
that's the reality.
If I was dealt the cards of being short, and all my success depended on how tall I was, of course I'd do it. Of course I'd do it. Sign me up. Sign this guy on sign this burger. I'm gonna get third. And then, hell yeah, I would be tall. I mean, I can't necessarily. Oh shoot.
Oh, is that me? Oh, I messed up.
What happened?
My phone wasn't on silent. Man. But it's a good thing I'm an editor of this podcast.
Wow.
So it didn't exist.
He did. He didn't. This dick. He didn't even edit my blunder like friggin' when my phone went off last podcast. But anyways. But yeah. Of course I do it. Yeah. Of course I chop my legs off and become taller. But I don't need to worry about it. We don't need to worry about that.
But yeah, I guess it's just nice to know that we're tall.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cons with being tall, to be honest.
There are a lot of cons of being tall. I mean.
I was waiting for you to name a couple of them.
When you
are trying to pretend there's a lot of cons to seem relatable, and then I can't think of it.
When you wash cars, you have to bend. Oh, this sucks. Or when you drop something on the floor. Oh, this sucks. or when you're vacuuming. Oh, this sucks.
All the short people are like, I hate these guys.
No, really though, there are cons. I mean, I bang my head. I mean, I'm probably the tallest in my family. My mom's side is short and my dad's side is super tall.
Yeah.
I live with my mom, you know what I mean? So I live in her household and everything is built to her height. So I'm always caught ugh. And we're Filipino. We have an extension. So when they built the extension, it's made for their height.
But what's funny is that because you said that you only got tall maybe freshman year, right?
Yeah.
For me, I've been tall since I was a kid.
I mean, I was tall since I was a kid, and then I stopped growing middle school. All the girls would be taller. There were girls that would be taller than me in middle school, and I was like, what's going on? My boys would be super high. Yeah, and then I think maybe not mid freshman year, but 8th grade, so, late 8th grade, when it was about to end. That's when I started to see I'm growing taller.
Okay,
it's tripping me out, and I guess it helped. It helped in the long run because I was always this pudgy kid that was sort of tall but not tall.
When I was a kid, I didn't realize I was tall.
You're always trying to fit in with your short friends.
I wasn't even trying. I was just kind of confused all the time.
There was this stigma where it's all my friends were short, so I would necessarily try to fit in and yeah, what's good, And I think that was what I did, and that's why I felt I wasn't even proud to be tall back in the day. You know what I mean? But I guess now
I just didn't know I was tall.
How could you not know you're tall?
I mean, in my mind, it just didn't. It didn't. It's kind of when I was younger, I didn't know that we were all different races. I just didn't see race as a kid, so I didn't know what chod was. I didn't know what fob was. I didn't understand that. So when I was tall as a kid, I just was I got confused because I'm just a kid.
Well, when you look at it though, everyone in Guam, the average height, it's pretty short. So when you look at someone 6 foot is probably normal in American society, right? And in the States, 6 foot is height. Yeah, that's average height. Here, average height would be the Zac Efron again, 5'8", 5'9". If you're lucky to get 5'10", you know what I mean? But the fact that we reached 6 foot, it's it's cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, we're still playing. I'm still having a hard time trying to fit my knees under this table right now, but it's cool. But back to the whole being tall thing, or did you want to expand on that even more, just your experiences of being tall in elementary and middle school, because you said you were tall throughout.
Yeah, so it was very confusing for me when I was at a very young age. My teachers would always point me out to other teachers and do that thing where they put their hand over your head and they go, look at him. But they won't say look at him, they'll just mouth it. Yeah. And I'd be looking at them what are they talking about? I didn't understand what they were talking about in terms of me. It wasn't until later on I was like, oh, they're talking about how tall I am.
Did you like being tall? Did that sort of that differentiation, did it sort of make you feel good or a certain way?
It didn't matter. The only thing that I always got ticked off.
What?
There's a couple of things when I was a kid that always ticked me off.
Yeah.
When I was tall, and then they saw another tall girl.
They feel tall and tall.
You're gonna end up together. And as a kid, you're always ew, girls.
Yeah,
no. And I'm just bro, stop that.
It's
annoying. It happened all the time, and that's why growing up, whenever there was a classmate of mine who was tall, I was automatically mean to them. Automatically. And you know what's funny?
Wow.
Is my teachers made it even worse. Oh, he likes her.
Because you're being mean?
Yeah.
But you're just like genuinely a dick to them?
Genuinely because I'm like, I don't want this girl to like me.
Why,
like,
dude? That's
just because it happened all the time. Like, because I didn't have like a genuine attraction to them or anything. I was just like, they're tall too. Cool, whatever. But they always played it up all the time. And
like,
that,
woo!
yeah, that annoyed me. So I started being mean to them.
Wow.
Yeah. That's f***ed up. Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think, well, that is true.
You know what's another funny thing too?
What's that?
I mean, you know, we're both Filipino, but I don't think we're that good with our Tagalog. Like,
yeah.
My Tagalog's fairly okay.
No, I don't even know how to speak Tagalog. Like, I know how to I understand it, but
yeah, I can fairly speak it, but my understanding sometimes is very... It's so-so. So, like, there's words growing up when I was younger, I didn't realize I didn't fully understand the true meaning of it.
Yeah.
I always hated this word, matangkad.
Oh, doesn't that mean tall?
Yeah, but you know what I thought it meant?
What?
Fat.
What?
So all these adults would be like, man, look at this boy, he's matangkad, huh? And I'm just like, what do you want to? You want to throw fists, old man? Want to throw hands, old man?
Like you're holding your fucking burger, like what? Matangkad.
Let me finish my Jollibee real quick, and we'll settle this outside. But yeah, I didn't realize that meant tall.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds like the way they said it. It just sounds like, oh,
are you degrading me?
Because you and I were both like very pudgy kids growing up.
Yeah.
And that's what I wouldn't, like I said, I didn't realize I was tall.
Yeah.
But I did realize I was an overweight kid. So I always just assumed when they would talk about me, it'd be like, ha, look at this chubby boy.
Yeah, you know, let's bring it back, right? Like elementary, I was fat. Like I'm not gonna fucking front. Like I was obese to the point where it's like my mom would really, you know, like she would feed me, but she would still like bash on me like, oh, you need to lose weight. I'm like, what? You're feeding me though. I love fried rice. I love Spam. I love all that stuff growing up. But there was this one time where my mom noticed where I was like, oh man, this kid's getting really big. I can't stop bathing.
I can't carry him anymore.
Yeah.
And he's only 3 years old.
And my mom did something to me that I guess that really changed my perspective on things, right? Imagine a 4th grader, right?
Okay.
And she was like, I was just complaining how fat I was, right? And it's like, okay, do me a favor, Jed. So she's like, go outside, look in the mirror, take off your shirt, and come back and tell me what you think, right?
Oh my God.
And if you like it. So I was like, okay. Took off my shirt, right? And I looked in the mirror. Oh! And I went to my mom, right? And I'm like, he's like, did you like what you see? No. It's like, then do something about it. I was like, damn, I look back, that's tough love, right? But the thing is, I'm glad that my mom sort of did that for me because after that, dude, I cut rice, I cut all that stuff, and I was able to lose weight by my 5th grade year. I was able to cut like 30 pounds, and then after that, I guess it resonated well with sports and all of that. And you know, my mom was a single mom. You know, it was like the time where the times where she could raise me and the times where she could guide me, she took full advantage of that. Yeah. And I guess that's what sort of embedded a certain mindset going into things, whether it be like music, whether it be like sports or anything like that. It's like, oh wow, you know, there is a way if there's a will. You know, if there's a will, there's a way. And
is that why you always go look at the mirror?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Do you like what you see? Yeah. I'm like, Jed, why are you crying right now? I don't like what I see. Bro, stop looking at yourself.
No, you know, I think it's I think growing up, there's always the signs of insecurity. There's always,
I think everyone
goes
till
through
now still goes through insecurity.
Yeah, and it's a natural feeling. Even the most confident people, honestly, the most confident people I know are probably the most insecure. And
why'd you wink at me?
Because I'm.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. What are you talking about? But anyways, just based on experience, like the most confident people I know, like they are hiding something, and they use their confidence as a form of as a crutch to hide their insecurities. Yeah. And I guess you know, sometimes it's best to just embrace it and for what it is. Yeah. And if you feel like there's something that needs to be done about it, or there's something that needs to be done about it, like just do it.
Yeah, that's the thing about a lot of insecurities is most of them can be fixed.
Yeah, it's always
most of them. I mean, obviously there's some things where it's like you're kind of like have to live with that.
Yeah.
But once you understand that that's what makes you you, and that's what makes you unique.
Yeah.
Then that's beautiful. Like it's fine. It's okay, and you'll be much happier.
Yeah, it's just sort of accepting your current situation, and if you want to do something about it, then do something about it. It doesn't even have to do with insecurities. It could be like in your career, or it could be like in, I don't know what.
Wow, we're really getting in our feels right now.
What you eat for breakfast? I don't know, but yeah, like how you feel and stuff. Like just addressing it and becoming aware of it, because you could be working. That's
actually what a lot of people I think have problems with, is kind of owning up their own issues. And last year 2018 was a very big year where a lot of people started pointing out toxic traits in cultures, toxic traits in certain, I guess, genders. And I was kind of like, interesting that a lot of people are pointing this out, but they still don't realize or recognize it in themselves.
It's
like they kind of are,
it almost looks,
they're trying to rationalize it and say, no, I'm not like that, it's them that's like that. But you have to, I guess, take yourself out of the situation, and look at yourself and be real with yourself, that sometimes the problem can be you, and most often than not, it is you as well. Like, it can't just be one-sided, like, oh, this person's at fault too. There has to be a little bit of compromise and realize, okay, yes, they have this fault, but I have this fault too. Let me work on this, and as long as you both acknowledge it, you'll become better people at the end of the day. And I think that's what's the problem with a lot of our society today, in terms of like our generation. Everyone just wants to point the blame to someone else, instead of also saying, you know what, I am also part of the problem. Because at the end of the day, we're all human, and it's all about perspective. Like, just because you see it this way doesn't mean your perspective is right all the time.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it's hypocritical nowadays. A lot of it boils down to that. But that's just the world we live in, right? But anyways,
I just want to mention this. Hey guys, I know you've been watching for the past bit now.
Yeah.
This is mainly for YouTube. The camera cut off maybe like 10 minutes after me, so if it looks weird, I'm sorry.
It's like, what the f happened? Why did it go to the wide? Now we have to watch High School Musical now?
Yep. That was all part of the plan.
But anyways, we're talking about High School Musical. Let's dive into school, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's talk about just
what was school like for you growing up?
School, it was dope.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I can't really remember much from elementary and middle school, but I choose to remember the highlights of it. A lot of my highlights were with my friends, with GATE. If you guys don't know what GATE is, for those of you guys listening, it's Gifted and Talented Education.
It's not gay and talented?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it could be.
I know. I was gonna stop on the last podcast. Okay, that's the last joke.
Yeah, GATE. It's dope. I guess right off the bat, you feel different than everyone. Like, well, I'm gifted and talented.
I was in GATE as well.
But it's kind of a double-edged sword, because it kind of fucks everything up for you. It's like, oh, I peaked in elementary, and then you become fucking stupid in high school. But it's like, for some people, I'm not saying everyone, but there's some people that were in GATE, and all of a sudden it's like they'll feel demoralized when, like, I don't know, it's like you're kind of setting up, one can argue that you're setting these kids up for failure, because there's some people that I know that weren't in GATE in elementary, and they're doing some fucking amazing shit. They're like,
I think it's situational.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. It's kind of like you're giving them favoritism, and then it's
more opportunity,
and they feel like they start deserving more.
Yeah, so
instead of just working for it.
It's kind of, in my mind, it's kind of like, it gets demoralizing, like, what if that kid you put on, right? Like this freaking, like, this is the industry. Like, what if the kids...
All right, listen, kid. If you draw this photo for me...
I'll make you a star.
You'll be big, baby.
And all of a sudden, they reach middle school, and there's like, oh, what's going on here? Like, and then they start getting C's and stuff. Because I was in that position, right?
See, that's very situational.
It's super situational.
I wasn't like that, and I was in GATE.
Okay, check this out, right? So when I was in GATE, and then I guess being in GATE didn't necessarily prepare me for middle school. It didn't necessarily make me, or it didn't.
I don't think GATE is supposed to prepare.
Yeah,
like it's not. That's not what it's for.
It's really.
It's actually your teachers that are supposed to.
Yeah, no, for
your
real.
teachers are supposed to prepare you for middle school. It's not GATE. GATE is just an extra thing.
But the f***ed up thing was, a lot of my time was spent in gate because I was like,
wait, how?
Because
you're only supposed to spend maybe like an hour a week.
I know, but from what I remember, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in gate. I don't need to be in this class.
And it turns out Jed's actually in detention the entire time.
And I'm like,
oh, here, wear this stupid cone.
I was like, wait. Gate wasn't wearing after school and wearing a hat.
You guys don't have stupid cones too?
Hey, you were in gate too, bro. So
yeah, I was in real gate. I wasn't in detention.
Are you sure? I have a picture with a stupid cone on your head. But anyways,
like this entire time you're just like, yeah, I was hand chosen.
I was hand picked.
Like your mom couldn't like break it to you that hey son, you're just really stupid, so they put you in detention.
But what trips me out, looking back, like everyone who was in gate, right? They're doing pretty cool things. They're doing pretty neat things, whether it be in the realm of art or even business or something like that. I guess what gate really provided was like a mindset. It was like, okay, you know what? Like
you make it sound like a venture capitalist, like
no,
investment.
Real. It's crazy.
All right, kids.
A lot of the artsy stuff.
I'm gonna teach you to succeed today. Step one.
Yo, check this out. A lot of the artsy stuff that I learned was like the doors were open through gate, and I was like, oh, okay, art. You know, that's cool. And now we're balls deep in this shit. So it's like,
this is the second time you've said balls deep, and the first time you said it, I didn't say anything, but it made me feel so uncomfortable. And I'm just
that's situational, bro. If I make you uncomfortable, then I'm sorry.
All right, Jed.
Is my feet touching you or something? Is my feet not touching you in the right way?
It's gone up higher already. Your leg. Can you put your leg down, please?
Okay, fine. No, you just put it higher, Jed. But anyways,
it's under my shirt now.
What were we talking about? We're talking about like, we're talking about school, right? My experience in school was dope. I mean,
in summary,
in conclusion,
it was dope.
My experience in school, it was dope. Elementary school was dope.
Yeah, for me personally, school was amazing. School was great. I don't necessarily. I can understand why people say if you loved high school or if you did this in high school and that's all you talk about, you peaked in high school.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from, because if you haven't been doing anything greater since high school, then you're like, yes.
It's safe to say.
I can see where you're coming from, but I don't think it's the same for everybody. Because I loved high school. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I've continued to go into my profession more even after high school.
Yeah.
But here's the big difference for me and why I hold high school very near and dear to my heart. I got to do what I'm doing now with all my friends. Yeah. And I got to do it with no responsibilities. I'm an adult now. My friends are all adults now. And yes, even though we have this company, we have, and our team's comprised mostly of people we grew up with. Yeah. It's not the same when it's like, yo, every day you got to hang out with your friends and then get to do what you're doing. Yeah, yeah. It's a very different scenario. And that's why, for me, I still hold it very near and dear to my heart. Yeah. It wasn't until a little bit after high school that I met other people outside of my group. And, like, I would talk about high school and they'd be like, not everyone had the same experience, Neil. Honestly, my high school is like, okay, I'm pursuing music now, right? I mean, I was rapping in high school, but I didn't necessarily see it as, like, a sustainable career. I mean, it's like, now I'm doing it full time. But you were rapping a lot, right? I was rapping all the time. You were rapping all the time? But I was more of a closet rapper. Like, I wouldn't... Why do you think you're a closet rapper, though? Because I would just feel comfortable rapping in my room, writing rhymes. And, I guess it wasn't necessarily cool to be an artist in high school. I mean, it was cool, but, like, to a certain group of people, right? What was cool was obviously the conventional jock. And I played basketball, like, ever since I was elementary. So that sort of, like, added to my cool points. But the fact that I rapped and the fact that rapping was super prominent, I mean, it's still super prominent now. I guess it added to that coolness. But even looking back, it's like, it's so shallow. People in high school are so shallow. And that's why I guess I gravitated towards Project Inspire, because it's really this clique of homies that are just doing what they love. What you're telling me is that you kept from rapping. Yeah. Because you were a basketball player. Yeah, no, the thing is Wait, hold on there, Troy Bolton. No, really? Like, okay, right? That's what I'm trying to get at here. The funny thing was... You are Troy Bolton.
The funny thing is, the funny thing was 2011, 2013, or like, you know, that era was like the peak of YouTube rap. You know, you had people like Timothy DeLaGhetto, D Pride.
That's true.
Yeah,
I don't see that as much today.
Yeah, and that was like, I was like, oh, it could happen. And I sort of got bit by the Asian rapper bug, and I was like, oh, I could freaking do this.
Oh, how come I didn't get bit by that bug?
Because there wasn't rappers in your year.
Oh, okay.
But like,
you make it sound like Spider-Man, like a spider came up to you.
Oh, what's going on here?
Yo! And then you started spitting bars right after that?
Yeah, and you know, like there was this, the YouTube rap scene was super big, so obviously like I started to do that a little more, but it wasn't like, it was common knowledge I was a rapper, but I wouldn't go out of my way to like be like, hey yo, I'm a rapper, because a lot of my basketball teammates would give me flack. They would give, because I went by this name Snoozix back in the day, and it was more of a gimmick, you know, and it was like, I'd be this Filipino dude who would like to act black, who would talk in a different ass voice. But obviously that's when I first started the rap thing. Yeah. And I thought like, oh yeah, it's truly embracing the blackness. And you know, as you get older, it's like, oh, you know what? It's just being yourself, but also knowing how to portray yourself. Just finding that identity. I was trying to be like what I saw on YouTube. I was trying to be how I saw Timothy DeLaGhetto act. And I was like, that's gonna be me, man. Yeah. But it's looking back, it's like, I didn't see rap as a career, because like I got flack for it, but I didn't care. I still did it anyway because I loved it so much. But then all of a sudden when I found,
when you say got flack for it, what do you mean? Like you got flack for it?
Check this out,
I
right?
don't understand.
Like people would support it, right, on YouTube. They show love, blah blah blah. But it's funny because my closest homies would tease me for it, like, "Oh, it's your boy Snoozix, blah blah blah," and I get it, because the people closest to you sort of, they believe in you, but they also give you the most flack for it, because they I feel like they low-key don't want you to like
succeed.
Yeah, they don't want you to succeed, and they don't want you to be in a better position for them. But honestly, I'll be super transparent. Like everyone that I've met and everyone that benefited my career or anything like that, or bettered my way of life, was through music. Everyone I met, whether it be you, whether it be, you know, everyone in the industry that I know, or the way I'm living now. I met my girlfriend because, you know, she thought I was a cool rapper, or I was a cool basketball player and a rapper. But, you know, like, it helped, you know? It helped. The clout helped. And this was before clout was non-existent.
Like, so, oh, he's so athletic, but deep down he's also a poet.
Exactly, you know?
That's what Marissa
he has a way with words. But it was cool. And that's why I'm super passionate about like hip hop, because it's like, for instance, right, with film. Being a filmmaker, or like we were talking about in the car the other day, right? Like you guys were like those weird cool kids. It's like, oh, these guys are weird, but or like Monkey Boys, you know, those guys were the weird kids, but you were cool with them because they were cool.
Yeah, it's strange because it's like when you watch 21 Jump Street, right?
Yeah.
You know how when they went back to school and they were like, oh, how come these guys, these environmentalists and whatnot, and these you know, they respect everyone. How come they're the cool kids now?
Yeah, not the dicks.
Like it was kind of like that growing up. It was a very weird situation because I didn't see like my group of friends as like the cool kids growing up. Yeah. But it wasn't until we started getting much older and even closer to like the end of our high school life that people thought of us as the cool kids, because I would get like whoever I thought was the cool kid, they would kind of react differently with me. And what I mean by that is not to sound cocky or anything, but like I would
you're f***ing cocky, bro.
Yeah, I'm super cocky, bro. Anyways, Noel, right? Yeah. Noel Santos Jr., you know,
R.I.P. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, I love Noel. Yeah. When I first met him, he was the coolest guy.
Yeah, ever. Dude, like, I remember.
Like, it's so funny because we're talking about High School Musical. We were in the play together, and that's how I met him. Yeah, and he was this b-boy. He played music. He was a drummer,
dance, bro.
He was the one doing backflips on stage for the show, and I was like, "Yo, this guy's so cool."
Yeah, and yeah.
And it wasn't until maybe like near the end of the show that we started like we actually knew each other better. And then he was like, "Man, you're so cool." Like he would tell that to me, and I was like, "Yeah, what?" Like he treated me as if like I was the one just because I made films and movies, and I was so caught off guard because I was like, "Yo, this really talented kid
thinks I'm cool."
Thinks I'm cool, and that was so like mind blowing to me because
you got bit by the cool spike.
Cool. Cool. Oh, but like, that's why I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, because with the whole like you got flack for rap thing because
Yeah.
My group and my generation, that was cool.
Like rapping?
Like rapping, art, like film, everything that dealt with like art and expression. Yeah. You were considered cool.
I think in your generation, right, your year specifically, because you guys created that idea of that, you know? And, and from what I remember, JFK and 2K11, I mean, like, I went to a sports school because Ukudu was like very high on basketball, and I went there because of basketball. Yeah. But when you go to JFK,
at that time,
there's art. Art is what made.
I still get cool, other people around my age who come up to me and talk to me about like, yeah, JFK was. I really wanted to go there because you guys always did these things, and it seemed like there was a lot of spirit there.
Yeah, you know, like because when I was a freshman at Ukudu, Neil was at JFK as a senior. Yeah, and from my understanding, like if I went to JFK, you know,
you probably would have been more expressive and
that was my district. But I went to Ukudu because I wanted to play basketball, and their basketball team was super good.
Like I have a couple of stories. Like I have some kids who I still like. It's crazy. Some kids that are much younger than me. Yeah. And then I would be talking to them about like pursuing art or whatnot, and then they would be like, "Wait a minute, you came from JFK?" And they're from JFK. I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Are you from the class of 2011?
Like, and I was like, "So what makes you ask?"
Yeah, why? He goes, "We hate your class."
Wow!
And I was like, "What? Why? What
and they just walk away. Come back here. Come back here.
Come back. Tell me, please.
What do you want? 2K11.
And this is why I didn't know that even till today, all the teachers still talk about my class.
Damn, dude, that's dope.
And that's why they get irritated because they get compared to our class all the time. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen.
Yeah, because I think from outside looking in, I don't recall like a school that really embodied the idea of art, you know, like
we went through a lot with our year because, you know,
whether it be stage productions or like movies.
We didn't even have our own school. Like it was taken away from us after our freshman year. So we went through a lot, and we were just, I don't know, we saw things in a more positive light. Yeah. Like, oh, you know, like speaking of this too, you know how I was saying not everyone has the same experience of high school. Yeah. There's this one story that I still remember till today that Justin told me, and he had this classmate. I don't know her name, but she just broke down to Justin one day. Wow. And it was so confusing because Justin's one of the nicest people ever. Yeah. And she was like, "It's not fair, Justin. It's not fair." And he was like,
what fun fair?
What's not fair? I don't. Yeah. Like he was so confused, and he goes, and she started talking about like our group of friends or even the rest of our class. She goes, you know, it's not fair because you and your friends are like extremely talented, and then also you guys are all very intelligent. You're all probably like a bunch of you guys are part of like the top 10, and then even like a lot of you are very attractive. It's not fair. And you're like, what about us? Attractive? And it was I'm literally saying verbatim what she said. Wow. Like, it was strange. Like, I'm not saying I am or he was. Yeah, yeah. But she's just talking about other people in the group because we did have, you know, like in high school, there's always going to be attractive people as well. High school. And so like within our group, there's just a mix of all these different kind of people. Yeah, yeah. Because we were very welcoming in that. Yeah. But like Justin handled this very well because he was like, you know, it's not. That's kind of like, I see where you're coming from. I'm sorry you feel that way, but we didn't do anything to do that to you. Like, we're just being ourselves. We're just having fun. We're just working hard. Yeah. And we've never once tried to do that, you know, to make you feel
like
this
intentionally,
way. Like,
right?
intentionally, yeah.
Yeah, no, for real.
And like, that's why I think when you talk about, like, you know, your friends growing up and they feel a certain way and they don't support you. Yeah. It's more about them than it is about you, because like
I'm not saying like my friends didn't fully support me, but it was more like their way of showing support was like giving me flack, and then it's like, okay, then
they're just ribbing you, like
they're just ripping on me, but you know, it gets demoralizing, you know,
because they do it all the time.
And then especially like one of my coaches, right, Coach Minyalak, you remember Minyalak? He's my basketball coach. You know, like he supported it, but the way he showed the support was he'd also tease me about it. Yeah, it's like. I guess
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
okay, now I understand what you're talking about.
But there are those select few that would just rip on me and try to like be like, man, this guy, like, oh, he's doing something different. Like, man, I hate this guy, and I haven't even chopped it up with a dude yet.
That's what I was saying.
That's in terms so of, like, stupid in my head.
Never talked to that girl, and I don't think. I mean, I can't say that for the rest of our group of friends have ever talked to her, but more than likely we've never interacted. Yeah. And so I guess I started realizing that. Within my world of like high school and whatnot, there's this other part where like we don't understand. Yeah. Like, oh, people don't like you just because of you being you.
That's kind of shallow, man. And like
that's just high school though. Like people won't like you because of you. Like, and it's weird. Like
no, honestly, I sort of feel that in the music scene. It's like some people won't vibe with you because they'll have this preconceived notion about you. It's like, oh, I heard this story. Oh, I heard that story. But it's like, bro, you haven't even talked to me. We haven't even sat down and had.
I'm laughing because I actually like that's my entire life right there.
It's like, bro, you don't even know me. Yeah. And then it's like, I mean, our interactions, like I never did anything to steer you wrong. So it just trips me out that someone could hold that much emotion, that much raw negative emotion. Yeah. And it's like, what did we do? Did we like?
I feel like that's so much effort though.
Yeah.
For me personally, like to not like someone that you don't truly know.
Yeah, it's kind of off-putting, and it makes you think a lot. But it's like as long as you're aware, it's like what I'm doing isn't bad. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything to physically harm or like mentally harm anyone. I'm just doing me. Yeah. But there's always, I guess, understanding, even in business too, or even in like your art form, there's always going to be those people present, or anything you do.
It still exists till today, even after high school. We're adults now, and a lot of that still is present within our industry. Is like, oh, I don't like you because of this.
Yeah, I don't like you because you're associated with this person. It's like, the heck,
and that's so strange.
I know
that's so strange, but like we've never talked, we've never met, and I don't know why. You have an issue. I don't really have an issue. For the most part, like I really don't have an issue with anybody.
Yeah, same
like
here.
At the end of the day, unless you've done me wrong.
Yeah, I think it coexists with maturity level, right? You look at
that's true.
You look at someone who's just hating for the sake of like, oh, it's fucking fun.
It's just so much energy.
It is.
I'd much rather turn that and like ignore that energy and just like work
and turn it into something great and beautiful. And I just feel like the people like that.
This is even my mentality, right? Whenever I go into something, I think about the positive, but I also think about the negative.
Yeah.
So like even with this podcast, I think about like, oh, what people think about us doing a podcast right now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
you can't help but think about it.
But at the end of the day, for me personally, I wanted to do this podcast because I wanted to have another form of expression, another form to create something. And whether or not people, if you don't like what, like, I guess for what you, like Jed and I have to say, you don't necessarily need to listen to us. It's there's so much more content out there. So for me, it's more for me than it is for you. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I would much rather be creating, because I feel like this is what we were made for. Like, this is why we exist this is why we exist on this planet. This is my reason for existing. Yeah. So whether it be I'm doing a podcast, whether it be I'm making a film or a music video, or even creating whatever, that's what I feel like I was called to do. That's what I resonate with. So in terms of like when there's people out there like, oh, I don't get why they, like, because this is my mind, like, oh, they just want attention and this and that. But it's like, the same could be said about like you pursuing your job or whatever your job is. It's like, okay, let's say you work on the radio, right?
Yeah.
Or even on TV. Anything where you're like exposed to the public, no one's going to be like, oh, you're getting cocky, huh?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
So it's like if you like being a presenter on TV, or if you like being a radio host, that's on you. Like that's what you want to pursue, right? So it's weird to me when people are like, they just want this and that, and I'm just like, bro, just let people be. Not everyone's gonna live your life. Not everyone's gonna think the way you think and be the way you are. If being out in the public is not for you, or you expressing through creation is not for you, like if you want to be a scientist and provide that way, or if you want to provide for your culture, if you want to provide for your society, for anything, that's you. You do you, and everyone has their own kind of like
opinion.
Not opinion, but like their own reason for existing. Their own why. Of why you need to. Of what you do in your life, because everyone needs to have purpose.
Yes, I think everyone in life, like, you're put on this earth for a purpose, and whether that purpose is to, be a nurse or whatever, you sort of decide that for yourself. And if you let the opinions of other people sort of dictate oh, I don't want to be a nurse because of
yeah, you know, a lot of times, like, I think for me as a creator as well, it's like sometimes like going into whatever project I am doing.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say for everyone, you start to question whether or not you should be doing it, you know?
Yeah, it's common. It's common.
Because you kind of, it's that insecurity. You know, what people think about you. But at the end of the day, don't let what people think about you dictate what decisions you make in your life.
Of course not.
It's your life.
It's your life. You can do whatever you want to do with it. And whatever the reward is, whether it is money, whether it is clout.
Yeah.
At least
that's the other thing too. Like when people go like, oh,
like what?
Like movie stars, right?
Yeah.
No one, like, yes, movie stars get a lot of flack, but we don't go, oh, they're trying to be cocky, huh? Like, that's really some people's dreams. Some people's dreams are to become movie stars.
Yeah.
And there's no, you know, we need that also as a form of entertainment, you know? So it's great that we have, like, amazing thespians and amazing performers.
Yeah.
Because we all enjoy and indulge in that kind of stuff, you know?
That's true. That's true.
It's like, you're really going to tell me that you don't love Bruno Mars?
I love Bruno Mars.
You know, it's like you're going to tell me you don't love Leo DiCaprio?
I don't like Travis Scott right now.
Okay, I thought you were going to be like, I hate Leo DiCaprio. I fucking love Leo.
I don't like Travis Scott because he ruined SpongeBob for the Super Bowl.
You're going to tell me you don't love Zac Efron?
It all points back to this guy. Just kidding. I love Travis Scott. I love you, Travis Scott. Please follow me.
Go Wildcats.
But yeah, so that's basically the gist, right?
Yeah.
You're always going to get flack for no matter what you do. There's someone is going to say something about what you're doing just because. Whether it's a troll, whether it's because they feel different about it, they just feel opinionated.
You could be doing bad and you'll get flack, and you could be doing good and still get flack.
So at the end of the day, really just stick to what your heart is telling you, and this is what my mom would always tell me. Think with your mind, think with your heart, and think with your gut. And if all three is leveled out in terms of like, you know, like, oh, I should do this or not, whether I should do this or not, then go for it. But if one's off, obviously something's telling you, you know what, I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Like for instance, rap, right? Once upon a time, my mind and my heart was in it, but my gut feeling was telling me, don't do it. But my mind and my heart was so invested into it. But now, like, all three is so invested into it, and now I'm just trusting in everything, and I feel more at peace with myself.
That's great advice, Mom. Great advice.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
And then, you know, she's telling you this while you're looking in the mirror, crying. Do you like yourself?
Do you like what you see? But you know, like,
think with your heart, think with your mind, and think with your freaking gigantic gut.
You know, my mom, you know, being raised by a single mom, she really played the role of both mommy and daddy.
You've said so much advice to me that your mom has said that I feel like she raised me.
No, like my mom is just one of those people that will, you know, it's just me and her. Great. I love my mom, and you know, there's so many. She's went through so much as an individual, and you know, she only has experience to give, and her love for me, and whether it be me talking to my girlfriend about, hey, you know, I'm giving you advice, what my mom gave me, or Neil, or anyone else that I come across. Like, I feel like her advice goes a long way just based off everything she's gone through. Yeah. And, it's crazy. No, I mean, awesome, if you guys are curious about my mom's story, you might talk a little about it in the
One
podcast.
day we'll have her on the podcast.
Yeah. Mom!
Featuring Jed's mom.
Oh, she makes the best lumpia, by the way.
Okay.
Oh!
Off topic real quick.
Off topic.
Really quick. I know we're like near the end of our podcast here.
Yes.
I'm Filipino, but I'm not a big fan of lumpia.
Shanghai lumpia.
I'm not. And one day I went to this fundraiser for Jed. Yeah. And they had a bunch of food there, and one of the food there was lumpia, and I was like, you know, I was kind of hungry, and so I was like, okay, I'll just grab one to like munch on and whatnot. And then I tasted this lumpia, and my world was changed forever.
And now you.
But let me finish real quick. Let me build up the anticipation.
Okay, go.
I was like, oh my god, who made this? Who made this beautiful lumpia? And so I was like raving about it to like Irani and the rest of our friends, right? Yeah. And I'm like, and then I see Jeddou. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Like, bro, it's like I'm proud of you. Like, I'm here to support and this and that. And I go, and he goes, oh, thanks, man. And I was like, but man, the food here, this lumpia, this is amazing. Good. And he was like, oh, my mom made it. Oh my god.
Now, like every like Christmas or New Year, like I would always bring lumpia just for the sake of bringing lumpia. And now you understand why I was fat growing up, because my mom made the best freaking food.
It's so good. Like your mom put so much love into it, and I was like, when I was like, Jed was like, yeah, my mom made this. Come here, come here, stay.
My mom makes badass dessert. She makes freaking great lumpia. So, like, I mean,
So
if you're listening
good.
to this, you know, my mom caters when she feels like it.
Oh yeah, so you know.
Not sponsored by Jed's mom's food business.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Then we have like lumpia. All right, bring in the damn
No, like,
lumpia.
the next time we just like have it here on the table and it'll be mukbang. Lumpia mukbang. Am I even saying that right?
Mukbang. I just see people
I
like
think it's mukbang.
who came up with that term?
It's the Koreans.
Oh.
Did you think it was just a random like set of?
No, I'm uncultured like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Mukbang.
I forgot you're not educated.
I know, right? I'm gifted and talented,
no, you're
educated.
You stayed in detention the entire time.
Hey, you were in gate too.
You were held back.
You had the dunce cap too.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You could deny it all you want, Neil. But anyways, that was episode Quattro of Chopping It Up.
Eventually, I hope Jed stops like treating this like Sesame Street for real, because I'm like, like really, like no one cares that this is episode 4.
Yes, people do care.
Like they're like, oh my god.
The guy from Poland cares.
One day we're gonna be like, oh my god, Jed, are you okay? Why? What's wrong? You didn't say the number of the podcast.
The guy
I got lost.
The guy
I forgot.
The guy from
what
Poland is
episode
depending
we're
on
on.
me. The guy from Poland is depending on me. Okay, Ivan Squadro, the guy from Poland,
You know,
is
it's
depending
funny. I always
on
cut
me.
out this joke.
Why? Why do you cut this joke off?
Because it's not funny anymore.
It is funny.
Bro, it's gonna be cut out again.
Wow.
Like I think we only said it on the first podcast, and then you've been saying it every podcast. And
Dude,
I'm just
why
like,
are you cutting the guy from Poland? Yeah, we just lost viewers, Neil.
Okay, there you go.
Damn it, man. We're supposed to make this
okay,
podcast badass.
I'll leave the joke in this time, but just know that Jed said this joke in the second podcast and the third.
What is actually? Let me search up. What is 4 in Polish?
All right, yeah, you take the time. You waste people's attention span. with
Number 4. I don't know, I give up. But anyways, thank you guys for joining us for episode Quattro of Chopping It Up. Once again, this is...
Oh my god, I'm still stuck on you saying number 4. Please stop.
Okay, I want to say thank you for joining us in this installment of Chopping It Up. This is...
NDR.
And I'm Jed. This is Zac Efron. This is
oh,
Corbin
that's
Blue.
Corbin Blue.
That's Corbin Blue.
There's Zac Efron.
There's Zac Efron.
Hey, Zach. Thanks for being on the podcast today.
He's scratching his head like, I don't know what the I just listened to.
You know, one more thing before we go off.
What's up?
I always, if we start this off with half day, but I always end it with shoot. And if there are people that are listening to this outside of Guam,
Shoot!
just know
Shoot!
that shoot is slang for bye.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, yeah, before we dive too deep in it, basically, that is it. Shoot
Yeah.
is bye. So,
Shoot is bi. Sexual.
shoot, guys. We don't mean it in
No,
a...
I'm just joking.
What? We don't mean it in a very violent way,
Yeah,
but
it just means,
really shoot
it
is
just
like...
means goodbye or like see you later.
Yeah. All right, so shoot.
Shoot, everybody.
Oh, wait, we didn't even wrap this up.
Oh, okay, not yet.
No, not yet, not yet.
Unshoot.
Unshoot.
Unwrap it.
Let's wrap this up. Okay. Give me a topic.
Hey, good catch, bro.
Give me
we're
a
talking
topic.
about school.
You're talking about school.
Yeah.
Hey,
And how
hey.
like you were a fat kid growing up.
Yeah. Wait, okay, give me a sec.
All right.
Hit this up. Check this out. Shout out to my mom for that bomb lumpia. Thank you for joining us on Chopping It Up. This is Neil, and I'm Jed, NDR.
Yeah, we should just always cut this segment. 'Cause it's like Jed, like I don't know how people believe that Jed's an actual
I
rapper,
suck at rapping, bro.
and then he does this. Like you're a phony.
You're a big fat
You can't rap.
Yeah, if anyone wants to test me, let's go.
Oh.
Whoa! Just fucking around.
Shoot.
Shoot.
Chopping it up.